So in this video today, we're talking about the importance of sticking it out and not quitting. And that goes with anything that you do in life. But this video specifically is talking about business and sticking it out to become somebody that's worth a lot of money. So it's not easy to stick something out because our natural tendency as a human is to, when something's not going our way or when something doesn't feel right, is just to quit, bow out, and go our own way, start something else, because we're hardwired to want instant gratification. So we want things to happen at the snap of a finger. And in reality, that's just not how anything works. And the sad part about it is that what we're shown on TV, what we're shown on social media, is that instant gratification is a thing. And it can happen to you the same way that it happened to this guy. It can happen to you the same way it happened to this girl. And in reality, there's a small majority of people that do find instant gratification can push them up to the top, because the majority of people, I hate to tell you this, but you have to put in the work, and it does take time and effort, and you're not going to get to the top instantly. No one's really going to do that. It's pretty much the same as you winning the lottery. So nobody can ever bet off of the odds of you winning the lottery. So it's basically the same thing. So just stop thinking that way. Reset your mind to realize that you're going to have to do it the hard way, like everybody else. So the first thing I want to talk about in this video is a story, just a personal life story that I can relate to this topic. And that is of me working in sales with selling life insurance. And the thing is here is that the one thing that this dude, so there was a dude in the company that he had been there for like 15 years, something like that. And he had just moved his way up every single year. And the number one thing that he told me that stood out to me when he first met with us on like the first day of us being there is he said he asked somebody that was higher up in the company, like, what's the secret? Like, what's the goal to becoming successful in the sales business? And what the guy told him was, just stick around long enough, and that's all you have to do. Stick around long enough and you'll find out. So what he was basically telling him there was, he was just telling him, if you just stick around long enough, you're going to outlast 90% of the people that come into this industry, into the sales industry. Because the turnover rate is like 80% of people. It's like 80 to 85% of people don't make it past their first 6 months in sales without, obviously leaving the company and going somewhere else. And what that dude said makes perfect sense to me, because I already know this. I already have this mindset instilled into me for anything that I do. But when he said that, it was just reassuring to me, because I'm like, I know this. Like, you just stick it out. It's really that simple. What I tell you guys all the time on these videos that I make, it's just like, and anybody will tell you this, anybody that's successful, anybody that's ever ran a company, anybody that's ever started their own business and been successful with it, they'll all tell you that all you have to do is stick it out, just outlast your opponents. That's all you have to do. You have to outlast your opponents. They're going to get weak. They're going to crumble. They're going to give up. But you're just going to stay consistent. You don't have to have the best results, but you got to stay consistent. And the best results will come down the road. This story just sticks out to me because the fact that he was like, just stick around and you'll find out. That one sentence there, it just makes so much of an impact, because it's like literally all you have to do, stick it out in sales. And I've seen it, like in the company, you see people come in, think they're going to make sales and stuff like that. It doesn't work out. Even the first couple of weeks, they're gone. They don't realize that you're sitting there all day, you're grinding, you're picking up the phone, you're literally making cold calls all day just to get somebody into an appointment. And when you set that appointment, then you still have to sell. You still have to put in the work. You have to have sales skills to do that. So it's not an easy job. Like, it pays off, but it's not easy. And most people don't have the attention span, nor do they have the ability to sit there and do the same task every single day. And that's the key. That's the secret to anything in life, is you're going to have to do the same thing every day. And that's how you're going to win. And I think that's the number one thing that I don't really see people talking about online, like any of these coaches or anything like that. They don't tell you that that should be the number one rule that you should come into the business with when you're starting your entrepreneurship journey, or even you're not an entrepreneur, you work for another company, you work in sales. That should be your number one bullet point that's always in your head, is just stick it out until the end, because you will surpass a lot of people. Even if somebody's better than you at the job or at what you do, you're just still going to outlast them. Just tell yourself, hey, this guy's going to be out of here eventually, and I'm going to be the top dog. That's all you have to do. And just by you being there, by default, you're going to be building skills up along the way as well. So you're going to master your craft after a long period of time. And at that point, you have the years and experience, and you have your craft mastered. So now you've been in the game long enough. You're like the top dog in the industry, in whatever your industry is. So it's like, it doesn't get talked about enough, is what I'm saying. But that does kind of lead into the next thing, is that you do need to master a craft. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. You need to figure out you need to put your mind onto one thing. What are you good at? What can you help other people do? Like, how can you make money by coaching someone online? How can you start a business? So let's say let's say in the past you were fat and you lost a bunch of weight and now you're in shape. Well, that's all you need to go from. That's all you need to be able to start. So just start from there, and then just tell yourself for the rest of your life, that's all you're going to focus on, is helping other people lose weight the same way that you did, by following the same steps that you followed. It don't matter if it's boring. It don't matter if all you did was get up and run every day to lose the weight. You can teach people that, like, by them seeing your results, you're your best testimonial. You're your best testimonial because you tell them exactly what you did. And if they find it boring, hey, then they weren't ever meant to learn from you. They weren't ever meant to be in the program. They don't stick it out. But you're going to still teach the same thing every day. You're going to tell yourself, hey, maybe a lot of people, I'm not getting a lot of traction. Like, a lot of people aren't seeing my content. A lot of people aren't finding me for me to help them. So then you're going to start having these thoughts in the back of your head, like, maybe I'm not as good as I think I am. But the thing is, you are, because you did it yourself. So by you doing it yourself, you know that it works. It's just the right people have to find you, and it takes a while to build up that audience. So that's the whole point. It goes back to you sticking one thing out. It's not your niche or your topic that you're talking about or helping people with, or the business idea that you have, the business you're in, the business model. It's just a matter of time. Time is the main thing. So it's like, in that exact scenario, maybe that guy says, hey, maybe a lot of people don't really believe in my methods. They don't believe they can lose weight from that. So let me go to something else. And that's the trap that most entrepreneurs fall into, even myself, like I've talked in previous videos, is that we're doing one thing, but then we're jumping to the next when we don't see results. So maybe that guy said, hey, nobody's joining my program, so I'm going to go, I don't know, do drop shipping or something. I'm gonna do some type of other online business model and try to do that, since I'm not seeing results here. But what he doesn't realize is that if he would have just stuck it out for a couple more months, or even like a year or so, he would have been the top dude in his industry. Like, in his niche, he would have been the top dude in there, just because he stuck it out longer than the other dudes, and he's building the audience along the way. So it all comes down to you just sticking to one thing, becoming a master of that, and then just every day just doing the same thing. It's just repetition. So that's pretty much wrapping up this video. And the number one thing that I want you to take away from this is that most people will always fail just because they didn't stick it out long enough. So most people will fail because they gave up too early, and you don't want that to be you. And the good news that I'm telling you in this video right here is that you don't have to have a bunch of skills. You don't have to have a bunch of tricks or anything that can make you become successful. The one thing that you need to carry with you, no matter what, to become successful, is that you need to stick it out no matter what, and just never quit. And that's the key that I'm giving you guys today. I hope you take that and you implement it into whatever you're doing, whether that's sales or Whether that is starting your own business, creating content, whatever you're doing, you just need to stick to that thing. And at some point, you're going to become a master in the industry. So just keep going at it and stay consistent, and it'll all work out. So that's the end of this video, and I'll be back with more content.